Well, I am Kohiyar. I am going to translate to you some stories which Muhammad is going to tell you. He was in the Mast Ashram with Baba for some time. I am Muhammad. When I was 17 years old, I went to Baba. I worked for Baba for some years. Vishnu Master told me one day, you come and work with us. And I went with Vishnu Master to Baba's bungalow. When I went to Baba's bungalow, Baba told me, you have got some very important work to do. And that work was, you will have to do that work for me. So you do the work with full consciousness. All right, sir. I said, I'll do the work, what you say. At that time, I was young and very hearty. I was very young and able worker. Baba told me further, then Baba assured me that you'll do the work consciously. Then Baba told me that this is the must work and there is a lot of responsibility on you. All right, sir, I'll do the work, he said. Do the work very carefully, Baba said. So we went to the Aga Khan bungalow at that time and started working. In the beginning, there were only few masts there. Hardly about 10 or 15 masts were there. After a month, went to the Aga Khan bungalow at that time and started working. In the beginning, there were only few masts there. Hardly about 10 or 15 masts were there. After a month, very many masts were brought there, and the whole place was full up with masts. There was an old garage there, and in that garage they were kept there, and a bamboo matting structure was also made for them. There were separate rooms for the mast, and each room had one mast. There was only one entrance and exit to that structure. And next to that door, there was a cot, and that was my cot. I was guarding the mast in the night time. In the morning, there were others to look after the mast, but I had a night duty for them to look after. Whatever they wanted, Baba had told me, provide them whatever they wanted, cigarettes, matches and bidis and whatnot and some tobacco, so I had to provide that. So that was, the whole stock was provided by Baba to be given to them. So at that time, the morning man who was doing the duty, it was an easy job. But when I had a night job, it was a very difficult job for me, what I felt later on. I had a big staff in my hand, and the door also was to be kept locked. And then only next to the door, I was having my cot to sleep on and to guard them. At night time, somebody wanted cigarettes, somebody wanted matches, somebody wanted bidis, somebody wanted tobacco. So I had to give according to their wants. The whole night, the whole thing went on. And when somebody wanted to go for piddling, so I had to leave mast one by one outside. When one went out, I had to get him in again and then bring the other one. Yes, and close the door again. That was my responsibility. When the third one again came and said, I want to go out, so I turn by turn, I had to take them out and do that job. So whole night I had to wake up and turn by turn take them out. Sometimes funny instances happen. So see, what happened was sometimes when I took out some musts for piddling, the other fellow will come out and do the dirty thing on my bed. And sometimes it would happen so, if I went out, on my bed. And sometimes it would happen so, if I went out, the other must would rob the other must would rob the cigarettes and matchstocks of it, and I would be on the crying point. Somebody would ask for tea, somebody would ask for coffee, somebody would ask for water, somebody would ask for milk, and I had to do everything all by myself, and it was quite a job, I found out. And I had to do their they were provided with blankets and bedding and gongdis, that is coarse woolen blankets. So everyone had that. But those fellows were such that they would not sleep on the proper bedding. They would just sleep out somewhere, unconscious of their own body and their feelings. So that was that. So that was how that was going on for certain days, many days, in fact. One day, it so happened, Baba had brought one mast, Chacha. There was a mast who was named Chacha, and Baba brought him. And he was only able to say the words Cha Cha, nothing else. But the only words Cha Cha. And when he was brought, he would not step down of the car at all. He would not step down of the car at all. For almost 1.5 days he was sitting in the car and he would not step down. Somehow Baba and Baidul Kaka was able to get him out. Air State was also there. Somehow he got out. He had the very same dress which Baba had put on him when once Baba had gone to Delhi. And those clothes had become so thick, as he was. So the clothes were so messed up and so dirty and mucky. So Baba had to cut those clothing to the shreds to take it out. And then Baba bathed him, washed him, cut his hair, and later every day nearly one big pot full of tea he was consuming, and he wanted it very hot tea, not even cold. So he sipped hardly a few drops of tea, and the rest of the tea was going to his shirt and his sleeves and all that sort of thing. And even in spite of that, he would never say that I don't want tea, etc. But he wanted tea and tea and tea, and he would say cha, cha, nothing else but cha, cha. He would not ask for any food. And then Baba never left him for quite some time. I worked for Baba for Mast Ashram for some days there also. And there also there were plenty of masts. And in Satara there was one particular master whose name I forget. I would like to recollect. There was one bungalow, Cooper bungalow. We got accommodation there. Baba had kept us there, along with the mast. And when the mast sitting by the side of a restaurant in Delhi, and to bring this man from Delhi some deposit So Baba, Baidul Kaka had given a responsibility of that he will be brought back again to Delhi, and so this Chacha was sent back. The other masts were also sent back, one by one. Very few remained in Satara. Then other four or five had remained. Then we went to Nagar along with these 4 or 5 people. Ahmednagar. Yes, Arangao. In Arangao we were there. There we stayed for some time. Then Baba went outside of Nagar. In Satara, and one day in the morning at 9 o'clock about, there was some fun there one day. I had day duty at that time. And I was sitting outside in the veranda. So I stood up because Baba was arriving. When Baba's car arrived, I was at the side. And Baba went into the bungalow. There was one cycle man coming on the slopes right in front of Baba's bungalow. Our bungalow was at the bottom of a big slope. That bungalow was named as Lal Bungalow. That is Red Bungalow. It was on the corner of the slope. And there was a sharp turn also adjacent to it. And next to the compound there was, and outside the compound there was a tap. About 3 foot high there was a tap. Now about 3 foot high. And one fellow, one cycle wala came, one man came fast on the cycle and he was singing something. And I was now about 3 foot high. And one fellow, one cycle wala came, one man came fast on the cycle and he was singing something. And I was hearing that song. I was hearing, it was... And what song he was saying, I tell you. The monsoon clouds come over and go and tell my beloved that I'll cry and die for him. And I'll cry and die for him. The moment he was saying I'll cry and die for him, he fell on that tap and he had a very big accident. And the tap broke down and he fell down and there was a big accident. And when I saw that sort of thing, I laughed and laughed and laughed. I laughed so much. Then I moved from there, and even though I moved, the sight was so comical that I laughed so much. Baba heard the thing, and Baba said, what? And I was so much laughing that I was not even able to talk to Baba. Then Baba said, get him in and lock him up in one of the rooms. Then after 1 hour I was made to get out. I came out after 1 hour and said, what happened? Baba asked me. Why were you laughing so much? Why were you laughing so much? Baba asked. And then I had to tell the truth to Baba. No, I can't hide. I couldn't hide facts from Baba. And then I told Baba, I was standing, and when your car came, I moved about, and I was there watching. And I had, naturally, being on duty, I had to wait there. When you went in, I saw this incident of the cycle man. And when I heard this, what he was singing, and when he said, I would go and tell my beloved that I would die for you, And when he fell, then he collapsed on the tap, and the water from the tap also started pouring on him. So naturally, I felt very funny, and then I laughed and laughed and laughed. And Baba also started laughing. Baba also started laughing. And he said, Baba laughed so much, and Baba felt so happy. So he said, all right, now come on, you made me laugh so much. There was Erich uncle's father, Bidi Jasawala. Papaji he was called. I said, he called for Papaji. Baba called for Papaji. You give Muhammad 100 rupees as a reward and give him 10 days holiday. That was what Baba. And then Muhammad, see that Muhammad goes to Mahabaleshwar immediately. So I was packed up to Muhammad goes to Mahabaleshwar immediately. So I was packed up to Mahabaleshwar on a 10 days holiday.
बरं म्हणलं ठीक आहे. आता बाबांनी संध्याकाळी सर्व मीटिंग बोलवली.
Then in the evening I'm told there was a big meeting of Baba Mandali.
साताऱ्यामध्ये सगळे
All Baba Mandali.
बरेच लोक होते.
There were quite a lot of people there, it seems.
एक नाही 5, 7, 8 बंगले घेतले.
There were many bungalows had been taken nearby. Each about 7, 8 bungalows had been taken in Satara. And then all in those bungalows were called in one day, and they gathered together in one bungalow in the big hall. And there I was asked to recite the incidents, and I had to say exactly as the thing had occurred, as the accident had occurred. And well, Baba said, I'll tell what had actually happened. Then I first laughed at the incidents myself, and then I started reciting the incidents. Then Baba warned me, you dare not laugh now, you recite the whole thing. And then I started. And then I was told by Baba that say exactly that how the things would happen. Then I said how the cycle wala came and how he fell and etc. And then I told word by word, recited. And then I recited how he fell down on the tap and how the tap water poured on him and how he got wet and etc. And I told them exactly as it had happened, and the whole crowd who was there started laughing and laughing, and including Baba. Then before them, those 100 rupees were given to me, and I was given those 10 days holiday there. So I came to Mahabaleshwar here. And then after some days stay in Satara, Baba went to Nagar. After my stay here for holidays of 8 days, Baidul Kaka came to me to fetch me. And he says, come along, Baba wants you. Then I had to go to Nagar with Baidul Kaka. And there in Arangaon I was for some days. There were not many masts there at that time. Only 2 masts were there. They were always with Baba then, those 2 masts. Baba himself was feeding them, clothing, etc. Nobody else was asked to touch them. They were washed, bathed by Baba. They were clothed by Baba. That is all Baba was doing. Later, then in Arangaon I stayed. Then in Arangaon I stayed for quite some time. From Arangaon, Baba left for some other place, which was
Purandar.
There Baba came to Purandar. That is a fortress of Shivaji near Pune. Purandar Killa.
पुरंदर किल्ल्यावर आम्ही काहीतरी 1.5 महिना आम्ही तिथं
We were there for 1.5 months there.
पुरंदर किल्ल्यावर 1.5 महिना काढला. त्या ठिकाणी म्हणजे फक्त आमचे मंडळीचे लोक होते.
There were only Mandali people then,
बाबा तिथं आरामसाठी
and
गेले होते.
Baba was there for some rest.
तिथं 1.5 महिना काढल्यावर आम्ही परत याला गेलो तुमच्या नगरला.
After 1.5 months stay there, we went to Nagar, Meherabad.
मेहराबाद मध्ये असताना तिथं बरेचसे मस्त आले.
And again, many masts were sent for Baba, and when he started coming in at Meherabad.
ते काहीतरी 2 महिने तिथं मस्त.
And for 2 months, again there was a mast ashram started there.
ते आराची एरसेट
And there, Erich was there,
आधी
Adi Irani of course was there.
हे असं
They used to supervise everything there.
परत तिथून माउंट आबूवर गेलो.
Then from there, Baba went to Mount Abu along with us.
पण माउंट आबूला 1 महिना.
And we were there in Mount Abu for about 1.25 months there.
त्या ठिकाणी आराम केला आणि परत
There we had little rest. Then again we came back to Satara.
साताऱ्याला मध्ये परत अजून ते मस्त लोक आले.
There again the must started coming in.
आणि त्या ठिकाणी म्हणजे ते पूर्वीचे आमचे बंगले होते आणि नवीन काय बंगले घेतले होते.
There were so many bungalows there in Satara which Baba had hired. There was for musts there.
लोकांचा एक वेगळाच बंगला.
And there was a complete separate bungalow for the musts there.
त्या ठिकाणी आम्ही 2 माणसं ड्युटी करत.
There were 2 of us to do the duty of musts people.
त्या ठिकाणी काय एवढा त्रास आम्हाला लोकांना झाला
And there I was not given much harassment by the musts. But in Mahabaleshwar I had the worst of my lifetime looking after these musts.
नंतर बाबा काहीतरी अमेरिकेला गेल्यावर तिथलं 2 महिन्याचा कोर्स संपलं. मस्त लोकांना तिथून पाठवले.
Then Baba went to foreign countries, that's America. Then musts were sent back, and
आम्ही केलं. बाबा गेल्यानंतर मी महाबळेश्वरला आलो.
then after Baba left, I also came back to Mahabaleshwar.
काय बाबांनी
And then for 5 years almost I did not see Baba at all.
महिने मात्र कंटिन्यू मला अगदी महिन्याच्या महिन्याला पगार.
But Baba kept on sending me the pay packet regularly for quite a long time.
नाही आला तरी 2 महिन्याच्या नंतर एकत्र आले.
If sometimes the pay packet would come in 2 months packet.
पगार नगरहून येत असतो.
That the pay would come from Nagar.
परत बाबांनी बाबा अमेरिकेहून आल्यावर
When Baba returned from America, Baba sent for me.
की तुम्हाला आता माझ्याकडे येऊन
From America, Baba sent for me.
की तुम्हाला आता माझ्याकडे येऊन नुसती गाठ भेट घेऊन जावा.
Baba then sent for me, and then Baba told me that now you try and contact me whenever possible.
पुण्याला बोलवलं.
And then one day Baba sent for me in Pune.
पुण्याला गेलो तर बाबा नगरला गेले.
Then when I went to Pune, Baba had already left for Nagar.
मी नगरला गेलो तर
Then I went to Nagar. Then when I went to Nagar, I found out Baba had left for Pune.
बाबा मी पुण्याला आलो की
Then I went for Pune. Then when I went to Pune, I found out Baba had gone to Panchgani.
ते शेवटच माझं बाबांचं.
But I couldn't find Baba at all. That was my last, what I could remember about Baba. Then from that time I didn't see Baba at all. And I've never seen Baba again. That's all I've got to say.
पलीकडे माझं काय त्यांचं दर्शन झालं.
No, I didn't, later on I didn't have darshan at all. And I have not been able to meet Baba again.
शेवटचे
That was the last I remember about Baba.